Tonawanda, you take some time off the clock and maybe finish this drive with another score, you're in a great spot to come out of this one with a victory.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to say this is probably the drive of the game so far, right? It's a huge drive, both defensively for Kenmore, offensively for North Tonawanda. If North Tonawanda is able to run it right down their throats like they've been the whole second half, take a lot of time off the clock, punch it in, might be all she wrote for Kenmore. But let's see if they can step up here, get a stop, and get the ball back and give their young quarterback another chance.
Yeah, this Kenmore defense certainly took some shots in the third quarter. They gave up 2 touchdowns. It's a 14-point swing for North Tonawanda right now after trailing 15-6 at half. They now hold a 22-15 lead. 1st and 10, Riesemann fakes the handoff. He'll keep it, and he'll get halfway to a first down as he's brought to the turf right around the 50.
And I'm sure, kind of goes without saying, I'm sure the North Tonawanda coaches already deal with 2 fumbles in the first half. Hold on to the football. It's the last thing you need right now is to put it on the ground and get all the momentum changed to come back to Kenmore East.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know how things play out, but North Tonawanda finishes that one drive in the second quarter with a touchdown instead of a fumble inside the 5 of Kenmore East. This is probably even more of a different game.
Yep, absolutely.
But after that 14-point third quarter, all the momentum is shifted in the home team's way. 2nd and 5 here for the Lumberjacks. Riesemann takes the snap, hands it off, and they're going to go right up the middle with that run. I believe it was Heim that got the carry. We'll see once he gets out of that scrum. And, yeah, that was number 42, Sam Heim, on the touch.
Looks like it's enough for North Tonawanda first down. So chains moving, clocks moving, everything going all right for North Tonawanda right now. Just under 10 minutes left here in the final quarter.
The Jacks, of course, coming off of a Week 1 loss at Clarence, which we talked about earlier. It was a non-league game facing a AA opponent on the road. Not exactly the easiest opening week challenge, but the Red Devils certainly did beat North Tonawanda considerably. But this is a beautiful bounce-back game against an in-division team. Again, like we said, North Tonawanda had to take their minds off that last game and focus on this week's opponent, and they certainly have here, even more so in the second half. 1st and 10, it's going to be a jet sweep for Johnson. And the man with 3 scores tonight picks up another 5 on that run.
Yeah, another 5 yards for Johnson. Kenmore East really struggling to contain number 12 for North Tonawanda. Dennis Johnson, definitely the workhorse for NT tonight.
And that was the big difference I saw between these two teams last year as we get a stoppage for an injured Kenmore East player is, you know, when they met at Adams Field in Kenmore East last year, the difference was Kenmore East just didn't have the speed and the talent to keep up with North Tonawanda. And in the first half tonight, we saw that Kenmore East does have the talent and speed to keep up with North Tonawanda now. But now you're really seeing North Tonawanda executing more. They're not making those mistakes like you said. They're not losing the ball. They're not shooting themselves in the foot. And now, like in the first half, North Tonawanda was on their heels. It's now the Kenmore East defense that's playing from behind and playing with a little bit more angst, I think.
Yeah, the North Tonawanda has completely changed it by just doing the little things better. All right, holding on to the football, not getting the football down when they're passing, not jumping off sides. And you see the difference from the first half to the second half. They look like a completely different team. They've completely dominated the entire second half by pounding it down Kenmore East's throat and playing good defense.
I think another thing, too, with a credit to the North Tonawanda defense is they've rattled Danny Klein's cage a little bit. In the first quarter, he had things relatively easy. Good opening drive, completed a couple passes, had good protection. Now, North Tonawanda's front 4, front 7 have gotten through a few times. He's taken some shots. He got banged up at the end of the first half. So I think that, you know, while he should be more comfortable later on in his first start of the season, he's starting to get, like I said, his cage rattled a little bit, and I think the North Tonawanda defense is in his head more than they were in the first half.
Yeah, it was probably seemed pretty easy for him the first drive, the first 2 drives, right? It's not that easy. Right. It's not going to be that easy all the time, and I think he's seeing that now. But if you're the Kenmore East defense, you got to give him another chance, right? Got to give him one more shot to try and get the lead back and see what they could do. But having a lot of trouble slowing down the North Tonawanda offense now.
Yeah, they came up with a big fumble recovery and an interception in the first half. So this Kenmore East defense can make plays, and they could certainly use one on this drive here. 8:40 and counting, 2nd and 5, handoff up the middle there. And that's another first down, and actually Rieselman kept it. They fooled me with that one.
Yeah, another nice play there. I was actually watching the play in the backfield. I thought they had the ball. But a good job by the North Tonawanda quarterback there. Chains moving, clock moving.
So they are now down around the 32 of Kenmore East. As you said, clock continues to wind. 8:15 to play in this final quarter. I mentioned before, North Tonawanda and Kenmore East part of the Class A North Division this year. 9 teams battling for 4 playoff spots, along with 4 teams from the A South Division. So it'll be 8 in total for Class A. And now we get a timeout call by the North Tonawanda offense with exactly 8 minutes to go in this one. And I think we had some other out-of-town scores. If we want to check in with our producer, Frank Wolf. What's going on around Section 6, sir?
Well, Cheektowaga extended their lead 27-6 over Burgard. Meanwhile, out in Niagara Wheatfield, they're in a lightning delay right now. So that score remains the same. And let's see. I had that score up, Johnny. It's still 12-8, but they're in a lightning delay. Adam Gorski, WNY Athletics, is on the scene. It's a game that's being televised on WNYO. Our good friends Tony Caligieri, Scott Pilkey, and Mark Johnson on the coverage there. We were unable, as you have mentioned a couple of times, John, to broadcast that Cheektowaga game. Just there's no internet out there at the stadium. They're trying to connect, and it's just been a horrible experience for them. Tomorrow night, they're down in Randolph. Jake Fyek's taking a crew to do the Randolph-Franklinville-Ellicottville game. That's a Class D.
Yeah, that'll be a nice matchup.
That's going to be a great game, hard-hitting, great game. And then we'll do the Jamestown Wilt South game Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. Johnny, you're on that call tomorrow.
Yes, that'll be on tape delay. You can watch that game live tomorrow night on Spectrum. And first and 10 run there for North Tonawanda. It's Woolston again, who had a big carry back in the third quarter. He gets another night. Too much, but once they start piling up, you really start to feel the effect of it.
You know, Frank mentioned that there was a lightning delay. That's not too far from here. We're kind of getting
lucky
that we didn't get that. Is that the game at Sweet Home, or is it?
That game's at Niagara Wheatfield.
Which is even closer. That's like a 5-minute drive from here.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, so
we're going to make it. We're going to make it.
Hope we make it through this. 7:45 and counting left in this one. I talked about it earlier. Kenmore East had to deal with a number of game cancellations last year due to COVID. Already had one canceled this year against Dunkirk last week. Sweet Home last year went through an hour and a half, almost 2-hour rain delay. The game went to a rain delay just before halftime against Will South. We waited there for about an hour and a half, close to 2 hours. As on 1st and 20, we got another pitch to Woolston, and he runs it ahead for a nice gain. But Sweet Home, they got to be sick of lightning breaks now. They go. But that run by Woolston got 12 yards back for NT. Actually 13. They'll mark it 2nd and 7. As we're now inside 7 minutes to play in this one. Second and 7. Rieselman gets the snap, fakes the handoff. Now it'll be given to Johnson. He's got some room to run. Johnson, one more blocker to get around. He does, and he will go in for the touchdown. Who else? Dennis Johnson with his 4th rushing score of the game, and that cushions the North Tonawanda lead.
Fourth touchdown of the game and giving the Lumberjacks a 28-15 lead with 6 minutes and 21 seconds left.
That one, a 30-yard rushing score for Johnson. As you said, his 4th of the game. What a night for the North Tonawanda senior. We'll see the Jacks on for the extra point try now. They got a 13-point lead And they're going to go for 2 again. Rieselman takes the snap. He'll look to throw. Escapes some pressure to his right, and he's going to be brought down well short of the goal line. So nice job by Kenmore to limit the damage there. But the lead is 13 for North Tonawanda, 28-15. Jacks on top as they just continue to keep things rolling here in the second half.
Yeah, it's really the tale of two halves here for both teams, but especially North Tonawanda really took advantage of the changes that they made during the halftime break. Have come out and looked like a completely different team, and the best way to fix a big loss last week is get your first home win for the season and get going in the right direction.
And I mean, I hate to single out one guy because North Tonawanda's played a great game tonight, but Dennis Johnson, 4-touchdown game. I mean, that's getting into player of the week territory. He's putting up some numbers tonight.
Yeah, and he's 4 touchdowns, and I think they're all relatively longer touchdowns too.
Yeah.
They're not 1-yarders. He is all over the place, making some defensive plays too. I think they basically put him on.
He was on Monastery for a little while.
And put him on Colburn a little bit.
Yeah, both of them.
So if you're Kenmore here, I think you gotta push the envelope. You gotta be aggressive. I would try to force the ball to Colburn here as much as you can. He's a great big receiver. You gotta score. You gotta score quick. You gotta score 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, you got the weapons, and Pryor in the run game as that kickoff is bobbled a little bit by Jenny, but he recovers it and will get some time to run. And he's going to get pushed back towards the 20. Nice job by the NT special teams to keep that damage to a minimum. But as you said, Tim, the time is now for this Kenmore East offense to get back in things here. They had a great first half, but have been quieted here in the third and fourth quarter to this point. Danny Klein, 2 touchdown passes in the first half. Hasn't really been able to get it going. We'll see if he can late here in this fourth quarter.
And from the same standpoint, if I'm the North Tonawanda defense, I don't think I just sit back and let him throw either. He's a sophomore quarterback. You may have him a little rattled. It's a little different than the first quarter. I think you got to keep pressure on him. Don't let him get comfortable throwing the ball.
Yeah, that's when things changed, was when they finally started to get back there. And as I said before, rattle his cage a little bit. 1st and 10 from their own 21. And Klein's going to escape some pressure and use his legs. Got about 9 or 10 on that run before going out of bounds. We'll see where they spot it. And it looks like they're going to have him just short of the first down. Should bring up 2nd and 1 for Ken East.
Yeah, good athletic play by the quarterback there. Basically taking what the defense is giving him there. Defense kind of playing almost a prevent back defense. You're going to give you 9 yards, 10 yards. Go ahead and take it.
Looking ahead for next week, Ken East will be on the road again as they will be at Star Point to take on another division rival in the Spartans, while North Tonawanda will go back on the road on Saturday, September 18th, as they have an afternoon game at Lockport. 2nd and 1. Klein looking back, and he's going to be dropped for a sack. North Tonawanda able to close in on the quarterback there, and that's Ashton Kasperzak to come up with the big tackle. And he gets into the backfield there to make it a loss of 9. It'll bring up 3rd and 10 for Kenmore East.
It's a very basic bull rush there by the defender and just push him right back, right into the quarterback's lap.
Could be the play of the game here for Kenmore East's offense. Just trying to stay in this one, down 2 scores. Swing it out there to Pryor, and that's another loss. NT closes in quick. And that's Mason Scott on the tackle for that one. And now inside 5 minutes to play brings up 4th down for Ken East. And, I mean, you'd have to assume that they're going to punt here. I know that they're down 2 scores and you want to try and go for it, but so close to your own end zone and giving North Tonawanda the chance to really put the final nail in the coffin if you turn it over on downs here. I'm not sure they want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I would think they'd have to punt. They still have their timeouts. But what do we know? Looks like they're going for it.
Yeah, it does. Klein is under center, or at least in shotgun.
You would pretty much say this is the ball game. If they don't get this, that's pretty much their nail in the coffin.
Klein takes the snap, sees some rushers. He's got to avoid pressure. He's scrambling back there, still looking to throw. Does get a pass away, and it's just a little too high. Falls incomplete. That one intended for Hakeem Williams. So a nice.
Agree with that call. You do have 2 timeouts left. If you punt it away, if you get 2 quick stops, 2 quick timeouts, I know you have to score twice, but you're on your own 12-yard line. That's tough.
Like I said, you're
tough.
giving NT quite a chance. They've had some short fields tonight to start drives.
Not quite
They
this
haven't
short.
had a field this short yet.
Yeah.
So not an opportune time to give them little to work with before getting to the end zone. But if you're NT, I think it doesn't even matter how much time you run off here. You get one more score in this one, and you're smooth sailing until the clock hits triple zeros.
To get his 5th touchdown, what do you think?
I would have to say that's who if you're going to go to anybody at this point, that's who you should go for. But it's Heim up the middle. That'll be a nice gain of about 5 or 6. And that'll take it inside 4 minutes to play in this one.
You got to give some credit to North Tonawanda, okay? You probably had one of the worst games that you've had in years last week. You went to Clarence, a really hard first game, and you got beat really bad. That could have set the tone for the whole season, right? But you put in the pass, you have a nice Thursday night game with a full crowd, great night, a league game, a conference game. You go down early, you're down at halftime, and you buckle down the second half. You can totally dominate the second half. You've got to give credit to the coaching staff of North Tonawanda and the leaders and the players for North Tonawanda.
Hand off to Heim again. He's able to shed a few tacklers, and he dances his way into the end zone. It's another NT touchdown. 3-score lead for the Lumberjacks, and they are pouring it on now here late in the 4th quarter. It's a 6-yard score for Heim, and the first Lumberjack to score tonight that's not named Dennis Johnson. And it looks like they're going to set up for a 2-point conversion again. NT has not kicked any extra points tonight following their scores. And it looks like it's going to be Johnson to take the direct snap. And he's going to take it to the left side, and he'll go across the plane on his feet. Put another 2 on the board. And that makes it 36-15 Lumberjacks. 30 points they've scored here in the second half. 30-0. They've outscored Ken East here in the final 2 quarters.
Yeah, great second half performance here by North Tonawanda. Really turned things around. Started, offensively with the great field position, went right in the field, right into the end zone, and totally stepped it up defensively. Kenmore is really not able to do anything offensively at all, like literally nothing in the second half.
Yeah, they've been quieted since the 3rd quarter began. They'll get another chance to come out here and at least try and make some noise, maybe pad the stats a little bit. But a 21-point lead for NT with 3:19 to go in this one. It's pretty much all she wrote. Bulldogs will have to go back to the drawing board. Tough loss to take in their opening week, technically. This is their first game. But NT ready to kick this one away. And Volkenberg will be the one to boot it. Talking about a little bit earlier off air, packed house tonight at NT. Very big crowd on hand for their home opener.
Yeah, great to see high school football back and rolling here in Western New York. The new Thursday night game, really something cool for the kids. You could tell that the fans, the parents, the student body, they love it. I mean, it's completely full. Both sides, Kenmore's a decent crowd too.
Beautiful night, too. I was talking to one of our camera guys, BJ Stack, earlier. The one thing that I'll miss about football in the spring is there was some trickery down on the field. One of the Ken East players acted like he had the ball and actually fooled some of the NT guys. But the one thing I miss about football in the spring is the weather got nicer as the season went on. Once we got to the championship games, it was sunny, 70 degrees out. It's going to be the opposite case now that we're back in the fall, but that's all right.
Yeah, that's real Western New York football, though. So.
That's right. So about 3 minutes to go in this one. 3:09 on the clock as Kenmore East is taking its last licks on offense. North Tonawanda defense just trying to hold strong here and ride this thing out to get the victory. And now we get a North Tonawanda timeout. We'll take a quick break. Be right back for more action. Stay tuned here on WY Athletics.
At Cairo First Wellness, your health and well-being is our passion. Let us take care of you and your family like one of our own.
Cairo First Wellness Center is dedicated to providing patients long-term relief and teaching them how to continue taking care of themselves. With a blend of different techniques, services, and personalized treatment plans, we'll help you find wellness in a way that's right for you. Between chiropractic care, spinal decompression, nutritional counseling, massage therapy, custom orthotics, and more, your relief is in our hands. If twisting, popping, and cracking intimidate you, our Pro Adjuster restores the same range of motion as a physical adjustment would with gentle, repeated tapping.
Dr. Mo at Cairo First has been taking care of my back needs for the past 4 years. His staff treats me like family. I've had the traction, I've had the massage done, and every time leave here feeling fresh and brand new.
Cairo First Wellness Center. Your health and well-being. Our passion.
Welcome back to WYAthletics.com. Fourth quarter action going on here between North Tonawanda and Kenmore East. Section 6 Class A North Division matchup. Thursday night football is on 1st and 10. It's a long bomb from Ken East, and they're going to get the call they were looking for. Coburn, the intended receiver, drew some contact from the DB, and that's going to be a nice pickup for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, easy interference call. Coburn, he's tough to guard. He's a big receiver. Not as huge as a penalty as the NFL world, where it would be a spot penalty. This is a 15-yarder. So it's actually not even a bad penalty to do sometimes if you're the defender. If you're beat, you might as well do it.
Yeah. Give up less yards.
Right.
Not give up as much momentum to the opposing team. Because you make a big play like that, that energizes the rest of the guys on offense on the sideline. And not saying that it would be a major turning point in this game and it would make a big difference. It's a 21-point difference with 3 minutes to go. But still, any big plays like that, you definitely want to negate if you're North Tonawanda.
Yeah. You never know. The game's never over. If you score real quick, a couple onside kicks. Obviously it's not likely, but you never really know.
Right, anything can happen. 1st and 10, they're up to their own 45. Kenmore East. Klein looking over the middle, and that one high. It was intended for Ward.
Yeah, he had Ward there. Just overthrew him a little bit. Ward had a step on him. A little bit better passer. That was a touchdown.
Clock stops, with 2:57 left.
I got to tell you guys something. As an observer of this game, I like this Ken East quarterback. He's off the mark, no question about it. But I think it has a lot to do with the fact that this is their first game. They were anticipating playing last week, so the timing isn't there just yet. But
and he's a sophomore.
If this kid could get on the same page with his receivers and the timing down, this could be a legit offense in Class A. And nobody was expecting it. None of us were talking about this offense a week and a half ago.
No, like I said, they've got the talent. They've got the quarterback now. It's just a matter of being able to play complete games, and that's one thing they didn't do tonight. Is another long one by Klein, intended for Monasteri, falls incomplete. Kenmore East not taking a lot of time off the clock with incomplete passes, keeps it stopped. They'll have a lot of time left to try and get the ball back from NT if they don't finish this drive with a score. Going to face a 3rd and 10 here.
And piggybacking on what Frank said about Danny Klein, the game is going to slow down to him as he gets more comfortable and more games under his belt. You know, as a sophomore on the varsity level, the game is really fast. It's really in your face. But he's doing a really good job with that, and he will get better as time goes on. But you see the little things out there, and you know he's got the foundation to be a really, really good player for a long time.
Klein got 4 receivers to his left here. Coburn to his right. He swings that one out to the left side and quickly brought down there was his receiver, Jenny, but picks up a couple yards. Brought down inbound, so the clock will run as it brings up a 4th, and it looks like about 8. Inside, 2.5 to play. Bulldogs could be running their last offensive snap here. And now we get a couple flags thrown, one on both sides. And I wonder what their call's going to be here. Did North Tonawanda have too many guys on the field? Well, it's a penalty against North Tonawanda. They moved
5 yards.
the ball
so it must have
5
been that,
yards. So make it a much more manageable 4th down for Kenmore East. It's 4th and 3. Clock now running close to 2 minutes to go in this one. Klein, 4 receivers, to his right, 5 in total. Looks to the left side. That one's complete. It's Coburn, and he gets his legs taken out from under him, but not before picking up a big chunk of yards. That gets Kenmore East down around the 25.
Real nice pass by the quarterback there. Stepped up a nice zip on the ball there for a slam pass to your number 1 receiver. Keeping the drive alive.
90 seconds left in this one. 1st and 10 for Ken East. Klein looking again for Coburn, going to the end zone, and that one just a stride in front of the big target. It falls incomplete, but we've seen him make some catches like that tonight. That wasn't far off by much.
Yeah, that was close. Good toss. The only one that could have caught it was his receiver. That's what you want. Just out of his reach.
So that stops the clock at 1:24. Kenmore East just working a few more plays. And, and even though they're down in this game and it's likely out of reach, for a young quarterback and an offense that's still trying to find their stride, especially after a good first half, I feel like you want to get these game speed reps in for them, no matter what circumstance.
Absolutely. You didn't have a game last week. You didn't have a scrimmage. So this is the first time you've had game speed. Every possession, no matter what, counts.
Klein handing that one off and going up the middle with that one was Davidson, another sophomore. Owen Davidson, sophomore running back, getting his first touch. As we now near the final 60 seconds of this one. 3rd and 3, Going to be another handoff. This time it's Orlando. And he spins around to stay on his feet, but now is finally brought down. And that'll bring up 4th down as the clock stops with 49 seconds left. And I don't know if they stopped it to spot it. It looked like he was short of the first. But we'll see how they rule it here.
Kenmore East called a timeout, I believe.
So as I mentioned, North Tonawanda will play at Lockport in their next game. That's next Saturday, the 18th at 2 p.m. While Kenmore East will travel to Star Point a week from now, and they'll play the Spartans on the road on Friday, September 17th. Both A North matchups. And we'll have more action for you, of course, this weekend on WNY Athletics. Got a big game Saturday afternoon, Wilson and Cleveland Hill. Both teams back out on the field now, 4th and 3 from the Jacks 19. Klein got a pair of receivers to each side, running back to his left. Takes the snap, option, but Klein's going to run it himself. Sees some room up the middle, and he finds the end zone for the rushing score. So Ken East not going to go away quietly. Klein scampers into the end zone on a nice run in the final minute.
Yeah, good job by Klein there. North Tonawanda a little back on their heels, looking for the pass. Klein took advantage of running an option, ran it himself.
So not a bad first varsity start if you're the sophomore quarterback. Pair of passing touchdowns in the first half. You end it with a rushing score. You show your ability that you're not afraid to use your feet a few times in this game. I think there's a lot of good things that you can build on coming out of this game if you're Ken East and Danny Klein.
A lot you can take away from this, a lot of positives. There's a bright future for this kid.
They'll go for 2 on this one, and Klein going to use his legs again, and he'll cross the plane for 2 points. That'll make it 36-23 in favor of North Tonawanda. And, I know that there's short time, but that makes things interesting. Only a 13-point game now.
You expect to see the North Tonawanda hands team out there now, and something you practice probably 2 times a week, maybe 3 times a week at the most, and you see what happens.
Yeah, certainly expect to see a onside kick here, from Kenmore East. Had a few somewhat onside kicks so far in this one, whether they were intentional or not, but they've had the effect of an onside kick. But assuming everything stands here, North Tonawanda will improve to 1-1 on the season, 1-0 in the division. And Ken East will drop to 0-1 and look to bounce back after their season opener.
John, Cheektowaga jumped out to a 40-6 lead now over Burgard, just 4:13 remaining in that game.
So that one near going to final. We're even closer to final in this one, just 42 ticks left. Assuming North Tonawanda gets the ball, you got to think they'll just kneel out the clock and call this one a night.
No surprise to see Cheektowaga get back on track after a tough loss last week.
Tough season last year, too, for the Warriors. Very uncharacteristic of them. But Kenmore East in formation to kick this one away. It's Coburn, and they're not even going to try the onside. They're going to kick this one down, and it'll go out of bounds. So that will draw a flag, and they'll bring the North Tonawanda offense out one more time. And the Jacks in good spirits over on their sideline as they'll win their first game at home this season. And get ready to hit the road again to face Lockport next weekend.
Nothing better than victory formation as a quarterback. Nothing better than
I'm sure.
being in the huddle saying we're going to kneel on it to get our first win. It's a good feeling for these kids. Took one on the chin last week, bounced back with a nice home win.
So Rieselman will take the knee, and that will take the clock down to zeros. 40 seconds and counting. They may have to do one more, but the players see it as a formality. They're all giving their congratulations, salutations, and the Jacks will celebrate on the sideline as they get their first victory of the season over Kenmore East, 36-23. North Tonawanda comes away with this win. So for Tim Chifa, Frank Wolf, I'm John Simon, our camera guys tonight. Big thanks to them. That'll do it. The Jacks win over Kenmore East 36-23 to move up in the Class A North Division. Thank you for tuning into tonight's broadcast on WMY Athletics. We'll catch you next time for more Western New York high school sports action.